Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been a hot minute. I am trying to prioritize only making videos when I am feeling really called to in prayer to do so, or when something is just so important in my own understanding that I feel I have to share it so you can all share in this understanding with me that I'm finding so fascinating. I have learned something recently that has completely shifted my perspective spiritually in prayer, and it's one of those things that after learning it, I sat and thought, well, why haven't I ever thought of this before? This makes perfect sense. And the answer is because I'm not a genius. So this comes more from the ideas of St. Thomas Aquinas. And today we are going to be starting a little series I'm going to call Piercing the Veil. And this one is going to be about how does God touch us? And I wanted to start with a quote from St. Catherine of Siena, where she says, "God is closer to us than water is to a fish." You might think that's just cute, but she literally means that, I think, from what I'm starting to understand. And I want to go to St. Thomas Aquinas' understanding and the biblical understanding of what God is. And we know from scripture that God is I am. And so St. Thomas Aquinas would say that God is to be, to be. He is existence itself, or whatever that force is that holds existence together. And so in this way, we can understand that God is not some faraway figure. He's not a man in the clouds. If you think of God as a man in the clouds, you are not going to conceptually get where I'm going. So we have to get away from that. He is not some figure far away that when he touches us, he kind of reaches down and goes, dink, you've been touched by God. It's more that God is working in some sort of other plane or dimension that we don't have access to because we are stuck in the material. But he is somehow behind the material, and he is holding everything up and together in his proverbial hands. And in a way, you can think of God as always touching everything. And that if God were to cease to touch something or to let go of it, it would fall out of existence because God's touching it, in whatever that means, is what is keeping it in existence. And so this is an interesting idea as well, tied with the concept of the veil. You often hear saints speak about the veil that is separating us from God. And maybe we also haven't thought of, well, what is that veil? And I am coming to find that the veil is simply referring to matter, the material world, stuff, things that we can't access with our senses, things that we can touch, smell, taste, hear, feel, see. And I wanted to share a thought on this from my beloved devotional, Divine Intimacy. Many individuals love this devotional. This is by Father Gabriel of St. Mary Magdalene, OCD. And he comments that the spirit of faith makes it penetrate the opaqueness of creatures and occurrences so it always finds God. Secondary causes become transparent to it, enabling it to discover at once the first cause, God, who is present and operating everywhere. To be able to recognize and meet God in every creature, even the ones that hurt us, offend us, or make us suffer, and in every happening, even the most disagreeable, painful, and disturbing ones. This is the great secret of the interior life. The world becomes an open book, on every page of which is written in large letters the one word, God. Before God, his will, his permission, his plans, everything else becomes secondary. We see how stupid it is to fix our gaze on creatures, which are, as it were, only a veil which hides the Creator. And so this is interesting, that when you run into someone who is maybe getting on your nerves, preventing you from accomplishing what you are attempting to accomplish, when you trip and fall on an annoying object that was in your way that you didn't see, or you know, when some aspect of nature, a dog comes and bites you and you have to go to the hospital to get your arm fixed and it prevents you from what you wanted to do that day. Any sort of annoyance or disturbance, if we can start to view all of the material world and all creatures as part of this veil that's hiding God, because behind all of this material stuff is God holding it up. And if God didn't want or permit something to be, all he would have to do is let go of it and it would cease to be. And in this way, we can start to see God in everything, because he literally has his, well, proverbial hands on everything. And in that way, he's always touching us. And when we have these more profound moments in prayer, or times God just shocks us in our life with the way he becomes so palpable and realized to us, it is not so much, like I said, that he's reaching from afar and poking us. It is more that he's always holding us, and he is the essence of existence in a plane below or behind the plane that we are in. And when we sense him touching us, it's more that he's bringing us closer into the grasp of existence itself, or reality. We're getting pulled closer into what is. And then it's not that he lets go. He's still always holding. We just have these moments where we get pulled in more, or we become more aware of how close we are to existence itself. So those were some pretty mind-blowing ideas I have had hit me in the past week that I felt I had to share. And I intend to do at least a few of these videos elaborating on some of the implications of this way of thinking as it relates to other aspects of faith, just as they hit me and as we go along. So I hope you all enjoyed this one. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video, and we will see you next time.